Hello and welcome. This is a Yin Yoga practice to open the front of the body, particularly the front of the hips, the hip flexors, and it's an intermediate practice. It's going to include some of my favorite back bends to get into this region, and these back bends also tend to open up into the chest and the heart as well. So if you are not someone who has a lot of Yin Yoga experience, you might want to check out one of my other videos that's more mixed level or beginner friendly. And if you're ready to dive into this one with me, let's begin on the back in Golden Gate pose. Have a block nearby to slide under your hips. So bending the knees, lifting the hips to make a space for your block and slide the block under. I've got mine at the middle height. You might choose a low or high height instead if you prefer. And this is our first posture to open up the front of the pelvis. As you open up the front of the pelvis, you might find your legs want to be closer together, which might make it a little more intense, and that might be what you want. Or you might like to have your legs a little wider apart. Once you've found the pose that you want to rest in, let your body soften here and start to tune into your breath by taking a deep breath in and breathe out. And continue to let your breath flow in and out at your own natural rhythm. And now, coming out of the pose gently and slowly by bending the knees first. With your feet under your knees now, press to lift the hips off your block. Slide your block out and let your hips come back down to the ground. And take a rebound, spread your legs out, spread your arms out as wide as you want to be. Take up as much space as you want to take up. Breathe into this body, filling the body. And breathe out and feel what's happening inside. And now bending the knees, hugging them into your chest, wrap the arms around the legs, gently rock side to side, lengthening the lower back. And now we will roll all the way onto the right side, gently push up to hands and knees, and come into dragon pose with the right leg forward. So dragon is our yin lunge. With your left palm on the ground, we're coming into dragon twist today. It's choice number 1. Right hand can be maybe on the knee or behind the back. Choice number 2 is dragon holds its tail pose. You can reach back and hold your left foot. So this is right hand to the left foot. And if this is too much for you, if this doesn't feel good or you just don't get that clasp, then relax here in the twist. Wherever you are, see if you can let your hips soften and particularly feel into this stretch in the front of the left hip, front of the left thigh, hip flexors, and psoas on the left. And if you're reaching back for that foot, you can Think about drawing the chest back, drawing the base of the skull back in space to find the back bend. Settling into your pose with your breath. And now slowly releasing, hands come to either side of the front foot, tuck the back toes, step back to plank pose with your shoulders coming over your wrists, inhale. And as you exhale, drop your knees, come down onto the belly, taking a cobra pose, low or medium or high, you decide. As you exhale, send your hips back into child's pose. Breathing into your back body. And with your next inhale, come back up to hands and knees and step the left leg forward for dragon twist or dragon tail pose on the other side. Right hand on the floor, left hand on the knee or behind the back, or bending the right foot and holding on to the foot with your left hand. In either pose, you can think about twisting maybe a little more to turn your gaze higher up and send your skull back in space, finding this sense of a back bend happening here, which is going to help to feel the sensation in the front of the hip, help to open up into the psoas. And finding your breath. Softening each time that you exhale. And bringing fresh energy into this part of the body, into the right hip each time you inhale. And releasing now. Taking the hands to either side of the front foot, tuck the back toes, stepping into plank pose, shoulders over the wrists, inhale, and this time with or without dropping the knees first, coming into chaturanga or all the way to the floor and up into your back bend cobra or upward dog. Now back into downward dog. And in downward dog, let's move the legs around a bit. Bend one knee at a time. Press strongly into your arms. So feeling a little bit of yang movement in between our yin poses today. And now we'll drop the knees and soften into child's pose with the arms down alongside the body. We're feeling your breath and enjoying the sound of your own breath here in this little seed-like shape. And slowly coming up and taking both legs out in front for caterpillar. So we're having a little intermission from all our back bends to Rest in a forward bend over the legs. Get a little bit of love into the hamstrings. Your legs could be closer together or far apart, whatever feels good. Your hands could be on the shins, the feet, or the floor. And of course, if you like having a cushion under your seat, go for it. And slowly releasing, and slowly come onto your back for a rebound. 1 minute of rest. 1 minute to feel the effects of caterpillar pose. Feel the energy in your back body. Feel your breath. And now bending the knees, hugging them into your chest, gently rocking side to side. And roll over onto one side, coming up, setting up for Seiza or saddle pose. So for Seiza, we're sitting right on top of the heels. A block or two under the hips could be your pose today, or just sitting right on the heels like this. And this might be plenty of stretch in the front of your thighs. And maybe if you want to feel a little bit more, then you can lean back onto your hands. And if you want to get a little more inner rotation, separate your feet and sit down between your feet. If your knees tell you not to do this, then listen to your knees and come back to sitting on top of the feet. So as we come all the way back into saddle, know that you can be in between the feet or on top of the feet. And know that you can stay at either of those first two positions instead of coming back. There's nothing better about being in between the feet. Some people find a better stretch with the feet under the hips, which for me is true if I use my blocks. So if you've got blocks or yoga bolster, then this is a great time to use them. One block under your ribs typically, and one under your head. And as you make any final adjustments that you need to get cozy in the pose, let yourself take a deep breath in once you're ready. And let this be a big exhale to really tell your body now is time to soften. Giving your body permission to soften. permission to relax. And letting your breath flow in and out in its own easy rhythm. And now slowly coming out of your pose, carefully pushing yourself up with your arms and coming into a rebound, resting on the back once again. Make yourself comfortable. 1 minute to be completely calm. 1 minute to feel what's happening inside. And now bending the knees, hugging them in toward your chest, and with one hand on each knee, lengthen your lower back by rocking side to side. And now let's take the knees into some easy, slow, and gentle circles by bringing them around to the left, in toward the belly, over to the right, and extend. And just keep going in this direction. A few more times, nice and slow. I'm feeling your sacrum, feeling your lower back. And circle the other way about 3 times, taking your time. And releasing the circles, releasing the knees. Place your feet as wide apart as your mat, or if you don't have a mat like me, then maybe about as wide as your shoulders or so. Windshield Wipers is where we're headed, arms out to either side. And take both knees over to the right side, keeping the feet planted, but you can come onto the edges of the feet and turn your head away from the way the knees are going. And now bring the knees up to center and over to the other side. Turn your head to the right. Good, bring it back up to center. So this is a move for the hip and the hip flexors, which I find is much more effective if your feet are pretty wide. Some people Especially beginners kind of tend to want to put their feet together and make this more of a twist, but that's not what we're doing right now. We're doing more of this internal rotation, dipping the knee in toward the middle, toward the midline on each side. And this is what gives the psoas a most wonderful little massage. Back and forth at your own pace. And now here's one extra luscious thing you can do is take your arms over your head while you do the same thing with your legs. Maybe holding opposite elbows if that's your jam, or whatever arm position pleases you. Did anyone ever tell you that your yoga practice should please you? Because if they haven't, I'm telling you now, your yoga practice should please you. Let's bring it back up to the center. And now, take your right leg out on the mat or the ground. Take your left foot on top of your right knee and scoop both hips over to the left a few inches. We're coming into a twist here. Knee across the body, right hand anchored on the knee. And now you can either stay here, extending your left arm back in a one-legged twist, or take it into cattail pose, bending the right foot up and holding the right foot with your left hand, opening the shoulder back. For some people, including myself, the knee or the foot kind of don't want to rest easily here, and that is where a block can be quite lovely, under the foot or under the knee. And for some people, the head can't quite get comfortable, so a block under the head is useful for this, or a cushion or a folded blanket under the head. And as you settle into your cattail, I want you to be aware that this is primarily a hip flexor, front of the right hip stretch. There's also a twist going on, but let's really focus on this hip that's closest to the ground, getting into that psoas by bringing the right knee and the right foot that you're holding back in space a bit. And once you're feeling settled in whatever pose you're going to be holding, whether it is bending the right foot up or keeping it straight, and taking a deep breath in to fill your body, to fill your back, to fill your ribs, your spine, and exhaling and softening, and especially softening into the front of the right hip, into the pelvic bowl. And now slowly releasing, untwisting, and pausing at the center. Extend both legs long down the mat. Interlace your fingers, press your palms up and away. And now let's bring it into the second side, beginning by bending the right knee, placing the right foot on top of the left knee. And now with the hips coming toward the right a few inches, we'll take the knee over to the left side. Left hand anchoring the knee, and the right arm maybe reaching straight out to the side like so, or maybe bending Maybe bending the left knee, taking the foot up, and holding right foot to left hand. Arranging yourself and arranging any props you need to make yourself comfortable here. Take a deep breath into the belly, the back, the hips, the pelvis. And as you exhale, soften all these places. The psoas, this time it's the left psoas, left front of the hip. Breathing, relaxing. And releasing this pose now, extending left leg down, untwisting, right leg down. And now coming into a final relaxation position, spreading out your arms and legs, making yourself totally comfortable with any additional props you'd like to have. Get cozy. Get ready to calm your body, calm your mind. Let's start by taking a deep breath in, filling every cell with this breath. With your mouth opening now, exhale. And again, inhale. Through the mouth, exhale. One more time. And now just letting your body soften, letting the energies of this practice filter through your body, tingling, electricity, warmth, pulsation, whatever it is you're feeling, however it is you perceive energy. Let yourself enter into the awareness of it completely. And now begin to wiggle your fingers and toes as you take a deep breath in. Fill your belly, fill your back, fill your heart. And as you exhale, gently bend the knees, roll to one side, slowly make your way up to sit. And find an upright spine and a comfortable seat. Use a cushion under your seat if you'd like, a folded blanket. Resting hands on the knees or the thighs. Taking 3 easy breaths in and out. And that is the close of this sequence. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time.